Today, I want to talk to you about a force that many of us struggle with, a hidden enemy that holds us back, keeps us stuck, and makes us question our own worth. This enemy is not out in the world, it lives within us. It is called self-sabotage. What is self-sabotage? Self-sabotage is when you consciously or unconsciously do things that stop you from reaching your goals. It's that small voice in your head that whispers, "You're not good enough," even when you are. It's the hesitation that keeps you from taking action, the fear that stops you from trying, and the doubt that makes you give up too soon. Self-sabotage comes in many forms: procrastination, self-doubt, overthinking, bad habits, fear of failure, perfectionism. All of these are different faces of self-sabotage. Some people destroy relationships before they even have a chance to grow. Others give up on dreams because they fear success just as much as they fear failure. Why do we do this to ourselves? The mind is designed to protect us, but sometimes it protects us too much. Our brains want comfort, safety, and predictability. Anything that threatens that, whether success, love, or change, feels dangerous. Even though we say we want better things, deep down, we fear the unknown. So we stay in the same place, repeating the same mistakes and making the same excuses. Many of these patterns come from childhood. If you were told you weren't smart enough, strong enough, or worthy enough, your brain held on to that belief. If you experienced failure early on and felt ashamed, you might have learned to avoid trying altogether. How to overcome self-sabotage? Become aware of your patterns. The first step is to recognize when and how you sabotage yourself. Do you start projects but never finish them? Do you avoid opportunities out of fear? Do you engage in negative self-talk? Observe yourself without judgment. Challenge your thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," or "I will fail," ask yourself, is this true? Most of our fears are not based on facts, but on past experiences and assumptions. Train your mind to challenge negativity. Take small steps. If fear is holding you back, don't focus on the entire journey. Just take the next small step. Progress is progress, no matter how small. The goal is to move forward, even if it's slow. Get comfortable with discomfort. Growth is uncomfortable. Change feels strange at first. But if you run from discomfort, you stay stuck. Learn to sit with uncomfortable feelings and push through them. That's where real transformation happens. Forgive yourself and move forward. We all make mistakes. We all fall into old habits. But the worst thing you can do is stay in guilt and regret. Forgive yourself and try again. Every new day is a fresh start. Visualize your success. Imagine yourself already achieving your goals. Feel it. See it. The mind is powerful, and when you focus on a positive future, you create a path to make it real. My friend, self-sabotage is not who you are. It is simply a pattern, a habit that can be changed. You deserve success, happiness, and growth. You are capable, strong, and worthy. So next time you feel fear creeping in, remember, you are not your past, your doubts, or your choices today. With strength, the lies we tell ourselves. There is something dangerous about the way we talk to ourselves. We tell ourselves, "I'll do it tomorrow," but tomorrow never comes. We say, "I'm not ready," but when will we ever be? We convince ourselves that others are luckier, smarter, or more talented, ignoring the hard work they put in behind the scenes. The truth is, we are not fighting the world. We are fighting the stories we tell ourselves. If we keep repeating the same story, one where we are not good enough, where we always fail, where success is for other people, then that story will become our reality. But what if we change the story? What if, instead of saying, "I always fail," we said, "I am learning"? What if, instead of thinking, "I'll never be successful," we reminded ourselves, "Every step forward is success"? What if, instead of believing, "I'm not good enough," we declared, "I am capable and growing every day"? The words we use shape our minds, and our minds shape our reality. Be careful with the words you choose. Fear of success. The silent saboteur. Most people understand the fear of failure, but have you ever considered the fear of success? It sounds strange, but many of us are afraid of what happens if we actually succeed. Think about it. Success brings responsibility. Success demands growth. Success means stepping into the unknown, where people expect more from us. Sometimes it's easier to stay in our comfort zone, where there is no pressure, no expectations, and no risk of disappointing others. But here's a secret. Success does not require perfection. It only requires progress. If you reach a higher level, you will adapt. If new challenges come, you will find solutions. Stop fearing the weight of success. Instead, focus on growing strong enough to carry it. Breaking the cycle. You have spent years training yourself to believe in your limits. Now, it's time to train yourself to believe in your possibilities. Here's how. Catch the pattern early. The moment you feel yourself making excuses, delaying action, or overthinking, pause. Ask yourself, am I helping myself or sabotaging myself? Recognizing the pattern early gives you the power to stop it. Set clear, honest goals. Vague goals lead to vague results. Instead of saying, I want to be better, say, I will wake up at 6 a.m. and exercise for 30 minutes every day. Specific goals create a clear path. Surround yourself with growth. If you spend time with people who make excuses, you will make excuses. If you listen to negativity, your mind will absorb it. Protect your environment. Read books that inspire you. Follow people who push you forward. And seek out those who challenge you to grow. Let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism is another form of self-sabotage. It tricks you into thinking that if something isn't perfect, it isn't worth doing. But the truth is, done is better than perfect. Progress is better than waiting. Start now and improve as you go. Act despite fear. Fear will never disappear completely. The secret is to move forward even while feeling afraid. Confidence comes from action, not the other way around. Take the first step, even if your hands shake and your voice trembles. The person you are becoming, imagine yourself 5 years from now. Picture the person you want to be. That version of you, the confident, successful, disciplined you, is not a dream. It is a real possibility. The only difference between that version of you and who you are today is the choices you make now. Self-sabotage is just a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken. Every time you choose action over hesitation, every time you challenge a negative thought, every time you push through discomfort, you are rewriting your future. I believe in you. The moment of choice. Every day you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to the life you dream of, the version of you that is strong, confident, and unstoppable. The other path leads to the same cycle of excuses, doubt, and delay. The difference between these two paths is not luck, talent, or intelligence. It is a choice. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to choose moment by moment to stop holding yourself back. When fear whispers, choose courage. When doubt creeps in, choose belief. When comfort tempts you, choose growth. When failure knocks you down, choose to stand back up. Every choice you make shapes the person you become. The power of consistency. Most people sabotage themselves not because they are incapable, but because they are inconsistent. They start strong, but when the excitement fades, they stop. They want results fast, and when progress feels slow, they give up. But real success, lasting change, comes from consistency, not intensity. It's not about doing something big once. It's about showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's boring, even when no one is watching. A single workout won't make you strong, but showing up every day will. One act of kindness won't fix a relationship, but small daily efforts will. One productive day won't build success, but a year of discipline will. Success isn't magic. It's just doing the right things over and over until they become who you are. What if you stopped sabotaging yourself? Imagine this. Instead of hesitating, you take action. Instead of overthinking, you trust yourself. Instead of fearing failure, you embrace it as part of growth. Instead of waiting for the right time, you start now. What would your life look like 1 year from today? 5 years? 10? The truth is, you don't need another motivational speech. You don't need more time. You don't need more time. You don't need anyone's permission. Everything you need is already inside you. You just need to stop being your own worst enemy and start becoming your own greatest ally. If you take nothing else from this letter, remember this. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not destined to fail. You are powerful beyond measure. You are meant for more than self-doubt and regret. So go. Take that first step. Then take another and another. Your future is waiting. The battle within. There will be days when the old habits call you back. Days when fear feels stronger than courage. Days when your mind tries to convince you that change is too hard, too slow, too painful. This is the battle within. And in that moment, you will have a choice. Will you listen to the voice that tells you to quit? The voice that has kept you stuck for years? Or will you rise above it and push forward? Here's the truth. The mind is not your master. It is a tool. And like any tool, it must be trained. If you allow it to run wild, it will sabotage you. But if you discipline it, if you take control, if you refuse to be its victim, you will break free. Your emotions will try to control you. Your fears will try to paralyze you. Your past will try to define you. But none of these things have power over you unless you give it to them. Take your power back. The cost of staying the same. We often focus on the pain of change, but what about the pain of staying the same? What is it costing you to keep repeating the same patterns? How many opportunities have you lost because you hesitated? How many dreams have you buried under excuses? How many times have you let fear decide your future? If nothing changes, nothing changes. A year from now, will you be proud of the choices you make today? Or will you look back with regret, wishing you had been braver, stronger, more determined? You don't have to keep living in the same cycle. You don't have to keep watching time slip away while you stand still. You have the power to change, but you have to want it more than you fear it. The breakthrough moment. There will come a moment when something inside you shifts. A moment when you realize that you are done with self-sabotage. Done with playing small. Done with letting fear win. That moment might be today, or maybe tomorrow, but when it comes, hold on to it. Don't let it fade. Use it as fuel. Because that moment, the one where you choose to fight for your future instead of against it, is the moment everything changes. Not instantly, not perfectly, but permanently. The journey forward. The road ahead won't be easy. There will be setbacks, there will be doubts, there will be days when you feel like giving up, but don't. Because the version of you that is waiting on the other side of this journey, the strong, confident, unstoppable version, is worth fighting for. No one can walk this path for you. No one can save you from yourself. But you can, and you must. So rise, step forward, take control of your life, because the world is waiting for the person you were always meant to be, with an unwavering belief in you, the truth about fear. Fear has been your shadow for so long that you've mistaken it for a part of you. But fear is not who you are. It is only a feeling, a passing storm, a trick of the mind. Fear says, "What if I fail?" But you must answer, "What if I succeed?" Fear whispers, "You're not ready." But you must declare, "I will never feel ready, so I will start anyway." Fear warns, "People will judge you." But you must remind yourself, people will judge no matter what. I might as well be judged for becoming my best self. The more you listen to fear, the stronger it becomes. But the moment you act despite it, fear loses its grip. Why we resist change. You might wonder, if I want to be better, why do I keep sabotaging myself? Because change is uncomfortable. because growth requires effort, because the mind prefers the familiar, even when the familiar is toxic. But comfort is a slow poison. It keeps you in jobs you hate. It traps you in relationships that drain you. It convinces you to settle for less than you deserve. And one day, you wake up and realize years have passed, and you are still in the same place. But it doesn't have to be this way. The key is to make change more familiar than comfort, to rewire your brain to crave progress instead of stagnation. And how do you do that? By showing up every day, by proving to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses, by acting even when you don't feel like it, because discipline will take you places motivation never will. The lies we tell ourselves. Self-sabotage is built on lies, lies we've believed for so long that they feel like truth. Here are some of the most dangerous ones. I'll start when I feel ready. You will never feel ready. Start anyway. I'm not good enough. Nobody starts good enough. You become good enough by doing the work. I've failed too many times. Failure is not the end, it is the beginning of wisdom. Other people are luckier than me. Luck favors those who take action. Be one of them. Every time you recognize one of these lies, replace it with truth, because the story you tell yourself becomes your reality. The test of commitment. The moment you decide to change, life will test you. You will be tempted to fall back into old habits. You will hear the voice of doubt trying to pull you back. You will feel resistance stronger than ever before. And this is where most people stop. But not you, because now you know the truth. You know that self-sabotage is a trick. That resistance means you are on the right path. That fear is just an illusion trying to keep you small. And you are done being small. The person you were meant to be somewhere deep inside you, there is a version of you that is waiting to be unleashed. A version that does not settle. A version that does not hesitate. Until the path that once seemed impossible becomes the road you now walk with confidence. That's how every great transformation begins, not with a grand leap, but with a single decision to move forward. The legacy you leave. At the end of your life, when you look back, what story do you want to tell? Do you want to say, I let fear win and I never tried? Or do you want to say, I fought, I grew, I became who I was meant to be? You are writing your story right now with every decision you make. Make it a story worth telling. The last words you need to hear. If you remember nothing else from this letter, remember this. You are not stuck. You are not powerless. You are not broken. You are capable of changing your life, starting today. But no one can do it for you. It has to be you. And I promise you, once you take that first step, once you prove to yourself that you can rise above self-sabotage, nothing will ever be the same again. This is your moment, the strength you don't know you have. You have survived every bad day. You have endured every heartbreak. You have risen from every failure. And yet, you still doubt yourself. You underestimate your strength because you have never fully tested it. You have never seen what happens when you refuse to give up. But let me tell you something. There is a power inside you that you have not yet met. A version of you that does not hesitate. A version of you that does not let fear dictate your life. A version of you that takes action, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. That version of you is not a fantasy. It is waiting beneath the layers of doubt, fear, and hesitation. You only need to unleash it. The lies that keep you small. Self-sabotage does not happen because you are weak. It happens because you have believed in the wrong story for too long. Maybe you were told that you are not smart enough, strong enough, or worthy enough. Maybe life has knocked you down so many times that you started believing you were meant to stay there. But none of that is true. Those are not your thoughts. Those are the voices of your past, the voices of a world that tried to limit you. You do not have to listen to them anymore. The only voice that matters is the one that says, I will not hold myself back any longer. The choice that changes everything. You might think that transformation is complicated and that it requires some great breakthroughs, but it doesn't. It only requires one thing, a decision. A decision to stop doubting and start doing. A decision to stop hesitating and start moving. A decision to stop running from discomfort and start embracing it. Because discomfort is not your enemy. It is the key to your freedom. Growth is uncomfortable. Success is uncomfortable. Becoming who you were meant to be is uncomfortable. But do you know what's even more uncomfortable? Waking up 10 years from now, realizing you let fear steal a decade of your life. That is the real pain. And today, you have a chance to avoid it. What if you stopped waiting? What if you stopped waiting for the perfect moment? What if you stopped overthinking every decision? What if you stopped doubting yourself and just started? Where could you be 6 months from now? A year from now? 5 years? The future is not built by those who wait. It is built by those who act. And you, my friend, are meant to act. The last excuse you will ever make. This is it. The turning point. The moment where you either step forward into your potential or stay exactly where you are. The only question is, what will you choose? If you are tired of self-sabotage, if you are done being your own worst enemy, if you are ready to take control of your life, then this is your sign. No more waiting. No more excuses. No more holding yourself back. This is your time. This is your moment. This is where your new life begins. The road ahead. The path to becoming your best self is not easy. There will be days when you feel unstoppable, when motivation is high and everything feels possible. But there will also be days when doubt creeps in, when the old habits return, when the voice of fear grows louder. This is where most people give up. But you are not like most people. You are the kind of person who keeps going even when it's hard. You are the kind of person who chooses growth over comfort. You are the kind of person who refuses to quit when the road gets tough. Because you now understand that self-sabotage is not stronger than you. It is only a habit, and habits can be broken. The small shifts that change everything. You don't have to wake up tomorrow and transform overnight. That is not how real change happens. Real change happens in the small moments. When you choose discipline over procrastination. When you push forward even when doubt creeps in. When you do the hard thing, not because you feel like it, but because it's who you are becoming. Each of these moments may seem small on its own, but together they create an unstoppable momentum. And momentum is what separates those who stay stuck from those who rise above. The illusion of someday. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? How many times have you promised yourself that someday you'll take action? But here's the truth. Someday is a lie. There is no perfect moment coming. There is no magical future where you will suddenly feel ready. There is only now. Right now is the only time you have. Right now is the only moment that matters. Right now is the moment where your future is being decided. So stop waiting, because every time you delay, you are making a choice to stay the same, and you were never meant to stay the same. The strength to keep going. No one else will do this for you. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to push you. No one is coming to make this easy. But you don't need them to, because you are strong enough to do this on your own. You have everything you need inside you already. Now it's time to prove it. You have been your own worst enemy for too long. Now it's time to become your greatest ally. No more waiting. No more excuses. No more self-sabotage. Just action. Just discipline. Just unstoppable progress. It all starts here. The breaking point. There comes a time in everyone's life when they face a breaking point. A moment where they can no longer tolerate the gap between who they are and who they want to be. Maybe you've already felt it. The frustration, the exhaustion, the quiet voice inside whispered, enough. Enough of the self-doubt, enough of the endless excuses, enough of living the same year over and over again. This is that moment. And you have two choices. Ignore it. Go back to your old patterns. Pretend you don't feel the pull for something more. Listen to it. Honor it. Take the first real step toward change. One path leads to regret. The other leads to a life beyond anything you've known. Which will you choose? The courage to let go. Self-sabotage is not just about fear. Sometimes it's about attachment. You might be holding on to old versions of yourself, identities built from past failures, past mistakes, past pain. But here's the truth. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not your insecurities. You are not the person who hesitated, delayed, or gave up. That person is gone. Every day you have the chance to be someone new. Every day you have the chance to reinvent yourself. But first, you must let go of the old stories that no longer serve you. Because if you keep carrying them, they will weigh you down forever. The secret no one tells you. Most people never break free from self-sabotage because they believe one dangerous lie, that change has to feel good. It doesn't. Change is uncomfortable. Growth is painful. Discipline is frustrating. You will have days when you don't feel like doing the work. You will have days when the doubt creeps back in. You will have days when quitting seems easier than continuing. But these are the days that matter the most. Because your success is decided in the moments when you don't feel like showing up. But you do anyway. That is what separates those who break free from those who stay trapped. And now, you get to decide which person you will be. The path to mastery success is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. And if you truly want to stop self-sabotaging, you must commit to 3 simple things. Show up every day. Even when you don't feel like it. Even when it's inconvenient. Even when no one is watching. Do the hard things. The things you've avoided. The things that scare you. The things that make you stronger. Never quit on yourself. Not when it gets hard. Not when you feel lost. Not when progress is slow. That's it. It's not about perfection. It's not about talent. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about consistency. Because the truth is, if you just keep showing up, the results will come. They always do. The life waiting for you. Imagine what happens when you stop sabotaging yourself. Imagine waking up every day feeling proud of the person you're becoming. Imagine trusting yourself completely, knowing that no matter what happens, you will find a way forward. Imagine breaking free from fear, hesitation, and regret forever. This is not a fantasy. This is what happens when you stop getting in your own way. This is the life that is waiting for you. This letter means nothing if you do nothing. You can walk away right now and continue down the same road, or you can take the first step toward a different life. The choice is yours. But know this, if you don't change now, when will you? Because time does not wait, and neither should you. So go, rise, step forward. Your new life begins today, with an unwavering belief in you. The moment of truth. You have read these words. You have felt the pull inside you. You know what you need to do. But now comes the hardest part, the part where you must act. Because this is where most people stop. They read the books, they listen to the advice, they feel inspired for a moment, and then they go back to their old ways. But not you. Because you understand something now. Self-sabotage is a war, and you are done losing. This is the moment when everything changes. Not because you wish for it, not because you hope for it, but because you choose it. The death of the old you. The version of you that played small, that doubted, that waited for permission. That version no longer exists. You are no longer the person who talks about changing. You are the person who changes. You are no longer the person who runs from challenges. You are the person who faces them. You are no longer the person who sabotages their success. You are the person who creates it. You have crossed the line. There is no going back. The unstoppable force within you. From this day forward, you operate differently. You wake up with purpose. You take action even when you don't feel like it. You embrace discomfort because you know that's where your power grows. You are no longer a prisoner of your past. You are the architect of your future. And every single day, with every single choice, you are proving to yourself that you were always meant for more. So here is the final question. Are you ready to stop dreaming and start becoming? Because the time for hesitation is over. No more waiting. No more doubting. No more standing in your own way. This is your time. This is your moment. This is the beginning of the life you were meant to live. Take it. No more self-sabotage. Only forward. With unstoppable belief in you.